Hello, welcome to Walsall United WFC.
Good evening and welcome to the AFU Women's Football Podcast. I've got John with me from Get Pro Academy and I've got Man United striker Martha Thomas with me as well. John, do you want to talk to us just a bit about tonight then? Obviously, first sort of, evening in Manchester, you've launched the academy. How pleasing is that?
It's fantastic. We've been trying to do it for a long time. COVID was a massive barrier for us, but they say things happen for a reason. Mm-hmm. It's allowed us to build Slough, Newbury, get Sevenoaks ready to set up, and obviously here with a great facility, and obviously having Martha on board with us is an absolute, it's a dream. It's fantastic.
Yeah, and obviously Martha, you're down tonight. What's it like then for you, obviously, as a footballer coming down, sort of inspiring young girls then?
I think it's really important. I think, when I was younger, women's football wasn't as big as it is now, and I think you have to use this momentum to get younger girls involved, and I think, I'm really happy to be here and help out in any way I can and just get the girls to enjoy themselves the way I did when I was a kid.
Yeah, and you're talking about, obviously, when you were younger then, I'm assuming there wasn't sort of too much opportunity-wise then. Obviously, it's great, like you see tonight, so many young girls coming out. What does that mean then for the next stage of women's football? Because obviously, like I say, it's important that we get things out. Obviously, me and John have had conversations, just girls-only football. What does that mean sort of locally as well?
It's massive, and I think grassroots is huge. That's what football's all about, and getting these girls out here and playing. When I was a younger girl, it was boys' teams only at the time until I moved to the US, luckily, where there was more opportunity for girls' football. But for girls here to have the chance to come out here, have some fun, improve in different ways, not have that super competitive environment where they've got loads of pressure and they can just enjoy themselves. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, absolutely. And John, obviously you were sort of talking before, and you've got a couple of coaches down. You've got Richard and Chris. Obviously the main emphasis is fun as well, but obviously tell us a little bit what you offer in terms of like opportunities. I know you were talking before about scholarships, but what can sort of girls here who want to take it further get from your sort of sessions?
Yeah, well, I want to give them obviously high quality training, because obviously the parents are paying for it, so we've got to make it worthwhile. Having Martha sit down is a massive boost for us, for numbers, and also for inspiring the girls.
Yeah.
But what we offer down Slough and Newbury and that where we are is we've worked hard over the years with Chelsea and Reading and introduced girls to them that they might not have seen. There's no money obviously for scouting, and the girls may not have felt good enough to apply for the trials.
Yeah.
So rather than go all the way to Cobham or to Reading for the foundations, we open up our centres, and we've got an agreement with the teams that we can just send them a list of names that guarantee trials, which is good, even if they're out of postcode, which obviously trials get oversubscribed, so if you're out of postcode you tend to get struck off as a no, which is good. And we're trying to do it around here. We've got a couple of clubs that we just sadly have to keep under our hats at the moment that we have got agreements with. They prefer it that we don't mention anything on social media or anything until we've got a first player there, because the men's team will be wondering what that's exactly what I've been told. I'm only saying word for word.
Yep.
So the idea is to offer the girls training. We've only got probably 3 or 4 months until trials, so I'm reliant on Chris a lot. I'll be coming up here as much as I can, and Martha, when she's available, to tell us what girls we think, almost like a pecking order, without being harsh.
No, absolutely.
The worst thing you can do is tell a girl she's the greatest player in the world when she's not, or send her to a trial where she's going to be overwhelmed, get a rejection, and lose her confidence. Yeah. So that's really what we're going to do, offering the opportunity, or a pathway as I call it, to a career. And Martha is the pathway visually, because she's done it, and hopefully we can coach them well enough to eke out that improvement to get them accepted at the academy.
Yeah, obviously. And Martha, you've sort of done similar, you've been for a scholarship. What's it like then from sort of a player's point of view? Because as John said there, sort of the pressure that young girls may face. What would your advice maybe be, or how can they sort of look to expect from these trials?
Yeah, I think for me it's always been enjoying yourself. If you're enjoying yourself on the pitch, you're going to play well, and I know that's been a staple throughout my entire childhood and throughout my entire career. If I'm happy and I'm enjoying myself, then the performances follow that. And I think it's important to find the balance of putting pressure on yourself but not putting too much pressure on yourself. You want to thrive in those pressure environments at the trials and things like that, but you also want to have a kick about with your mates and enjoy yourself at the same time, and you will improve that way as well. So you want to make sure that you just you find that balance between the two.
Yeah, and obviously would there be sort of, obviously you mentioned there about happiness, would there be anything sort of maybe mindset? 'Cause I know John offers, you were talking about on our previous chat, weren't you, about sort of the mindset and helping players with that. Is there anything you'd maybe give us sort of a point, you know, like in terms of working hard and obviously focusing, but what sort of mindset wise would you say to young girls?
Yeah, I think mindset wise, when you're a young kid, it's going to be about enjoying yourself and putting yourself in the right positions, and you know, not putting too much pressure on yourself at the same time, but you know, finding little wins everywhere. So if you have a good training session, you know, you find little wins in that, and it helps build your confidence, and you find happiness through that, and then you know, set new goals and try and reach them all the time.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, thank you very much to you both for joining me, to Martha and for John. Obviously, we'll catch up and we'll put some more content out there, sort of social media wise. Thank you to everybody for tuning in.